On the planet Kolu, the heroes and villains are at a loss of what to do. The Omega Titan is set to destroy this planet, and Brainiac is gone. They each feel the pull of the technology Brainiac installed in their suits, and sense that it's guiding them to a source of power located on each planet. Trees Omega Titans have grown in order to determine which of the 4 sentient energies are most dominant on this world. The Martian Manhunter and Lex Luthor successfully convince the heroes and villains to divide up in the teams Brainiac has assigned to them, in spite of the concerns of many of the heroes. After all, Lex and John are quick to point out that Brainiac is a very intelligent being, and likely understood the situation in a way that the others simply do not. So each team sets out to find their corresponding world tree. Team Entropy discovers a tree growing out of a Kolu prison, feeding on the chaos that each of these criminals represent. The Tree of Wonder is growing out of the last remnants of magic on Kolu. Since this world rejected magic thousands of years ago, it must be the last source of wonder and faith in this planet. Team Mystery discovers something referred to as a nursery, and inside they discover thousands of bottled worlds, much like how Brainiac used to bottle cities. Finally, Team Wisdom discovers their tree is growing out of the planet's data core. Since this is the dominant form of energy on the planet, the team reasons if they can find a way to depower the data core, they could balance out the 4 energies for the teams. However, each team soon finds opposition, mostly in the form of Clue and defenses, while Team Wonder encounters ghosts of dead Clue and spellcasters. As each of the teams engage in battle, back on Earth, Amanda Waller is encountered by Oliver Queen. He explains that the heroes from the 4 main teams that protect Earth have all suddenly lost consciousness, and Amanda Waller reasons it must have been some sort of failsafe Brainiac installed in case anything happened to him. She and Oliver seek out a seed that was left behind on Earth by the Omega Titans. If they can prevent its activation, they can prevent the Titans from coming here. However, when her and Ollie discover the seed has already been activated, Amanda Waller realizes this was another failsafe Brainiac had installed. When she attacked him, she may very well have doomed their own planet. All they can do now is hope and wait. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of No Justice number 2. So I put up another Patreon poll about what issue I'd review this week, and No Justice number 2 won. That pretty much locks us in for the rest of this story, so I'll be covering it throughout its 4-issue miniseries run this month. That's the fun part about No Justice. Even if you're not on board, it's not like DC is cluttered with these comics for the next foreseeable future. It's just a nice little bridge between DC Metal and the beginnings of Snyder's run on Justice League. Overall, I'm really enjoying this story. It's a lot of fun and a very creative idea for dividing up important DC characters along different lines than what we're used to seeing. The 4 teams are fun, and I kind of get why each member was assigned to each team the way they were. The way this story seems to be set up is that Snyder is basically bringing a ton of new content into the multiverse for him and any other writer to freely use in their stories going forward. It's a wonderful new opportunity for new characters, new ideas, and new stories, all of which sound really great to me. So the story is interesting as it's starting to reveal its hand. It's a clear step forward for DC and what they're going to do with the new writers and talent that they've fronted onto stuff like Justice League and Superman. And on the whole, it has me pretty pumped. This is a strong start to Snyder's run on Justice League, and while this issue is a little more cluttered than issue 1, you can kind of tell there's 3 writers on this thing this time around. There's a little bit of issues with keeping the tone consistent, but on the whole it was a very fun read and has me energetic about what's going to happen next. While this comic won't be a mandatory read, it's good background for getting into Snyder's Justice League stuff, I feel, and it's setting up a lot in terms of potential new stories for the canon. Already it's been done a bit in the form of allowing the source wall to have opened up, creating more worlds, and the larger multiverse has greatly expanded. Now we're seeing the universe of Rebirth itself expanding with new worlds, new villains, new ideas, all coming into play through this story. So on the whole, it's a lot of fun. I still think this is a nice short series and exactly what it needs to be, though I do wish we would get some more expansion on these 4 teams and hope in some form this concept gets used going forward, because it's a very neat one. Like I said with issue 1, I really think there's a lot of potential in terms of adaptation, especially in some sort of video game that takes advantage of these teams. Maybe this is a plot for Injustice 3 or something years down the line, where you have this roster based on Wisdom, Mystery, Wonder, and Entropy. And it's interesting seeing how the heroes correspond with them on the whole, like I said. Because we have stuff like Wonder being all the magicians, Mystery being various aliens, Wisdom being characters that are not only intelligent like Cyborg and Barry Allen, but also ones that have hidden wisdom like Harley Quinn. And then finally we have Entropy in the form of darker characters like Deathstroke and Batman, along the lines of interesting ones like Beast Boy. I thought that was a clever little detail if you kind of think about his character and maybe what he represents. He does feel vaguely associated with Entropy in a sense. He represents nature, and nature in some ways is about a struggle against decay and beasts sort of consuming other beasts. I kind of could see where it was coming from at the very least. So yeah, it's a great issue. I definitely recommend you check it out. At only 4 issues, all coming out this month. It's an easy investment in terms of storytelling and collecting. And each issue so far has been a lot of fun. I expect the next 2 are going to be just as good as what we've gotten here. Yeah, it's a little rushed and it's a short little event, but I think that's for the best. Doing this too much or to play it out for too long would be annoying. And in comparison, a nice 4-issue simple story is attractive in its own ways, and I quite enjoy it for what it is. It's nice to not have to have it drag out as long as, say, DC Metal did. I liked DC Metal a lot, but by the end I kept forgetting that it was going on because it lasted for like 3 or 4 months. This feels like a much simpler thing to wrap your head around as a whole. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.